Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hacking Self Storage. Today, we are comparing Q1 at Clough Road and Q1 at Wrexham in terms of revenue and seeing how we ding dang did. If you haven't already done so, make sure you sign up to my newsletter, mrselfstorage.com. When I said .com, it's where all the cool kids hang out. And if you're watching this, I know that I've got my hood up. It's just because I'm going for a run. Okay. Right, let's have a look at it then, because there was one site of these two that did really, really well, and there was another site that did not so well. And you can imagine it's Clough Road. Clough Road, having a meeting about Clough Road yesterday. And I said, because me and Gary was talking, Gary McKenzie, and was talking, saying, I was, because every single site at the minute for self-storage, well, not every single site, but all our sites are in the correct location. We've done the due diligence. And I said, Gary, there is going to be a point when I do mess it up. We do mess it up. We get a site in the wrong position, in the wrong competition, the wrong demographic. Well, actually, Gary said he don't think we will do. But you might do. You never know. And I said, well, to be honest, look at Clough Road. Clough Road isn't amazing. It's not turning up any trees. It's not losing money. It's still very, very profitable business. But it's just tough. It's really, really hard work. I do think that one of the things that I did overlook looking at Clough Road, and by the way, no, I do not regret it. I was still open, but it's the average income for households. I don't think I looked that up. And Armadillo have the same problem because they're not too far away either, but they're more towards the town. So yeah, I think that was a problem. I think they're more price sensitive at Clough Road than they are at any of our other sites. Quick example, and then I'll get onto the Q1 talkings, the Q1 revenue comparisons. So quick comparison. Last year, we was actually 93% full at Clough Road, and we have a special revenue management system. When we're over 90% full, we do something, and I get grief about it, so I'm not going to say what we do. We was the same at Wrexham. We increased. We did the revenue management at both sites, basically increasing existing customers' prices. And if people left, that was okay, because do you know what? We'd fill up anyway, because it's simple supply and demand. Wrexham, it was fine. I don't think we had, or maybe we had one or two complaints. Clough Road, we had over 20% of our occupancy move out straight away. I was like, whoa, what's happened here? They're just so much more price sensitive. And so you've got to bear that in mind when you're looking at sites. What is the average income? Because the average income determines how much they're willing to spend on self-storage. Fred, the founder of Attic and the CEO of Hold Self Storage, he told me implied affordability. If you look at the household income and times that by 6.5%, that is what they can afford to spend on self-storage, on things like self-storage. And I said to him, I said, where the hell did you get that information from? And he goes, it was somewhere in America. I can't quantify it or give you the stats, but it was a report done in America, and it stands up when we do the tests in England. And so I was like, right, if it's Fred, if it's good enough for Fred, if that logic's good enough for Fred, I'm not questioning it. It's good enough for me. And that is the one thing that we didn't look at, or no, we did, but we overlooked it because of the position, because it's such a great position. Location. It'll always be a good site because of the location. However, that because of the average income per household, then there's a ceiling, and it's not a very tall ceiling of what you can charge because of price sensitive. Right, so that's me telling you don't open nowhere near Clough Road. Okay, right. Q1 2024 versus Q1 2025. Clough Road is a really good looking self-storage facility in a prime location, but it's very competitive. It's a very competitive area, so results aren't as good as other sites. Wrexham is my first acquisition. I say first, it's my one and only. We are in talks for other acquisitions at the minute, so whether they come off or not, who ding dang knows. Hopefully do some more in the coming months and years, acquisitions I put here. We are adding more units and containers all the time at Wrexham, so we'd expect the revenue to keep increasing. Right, Clough Road, 2024 Q1 revenue was 77,059 pence. Q1 2025 was 81,590. So it was only a £4,531 increase in 2025. So not a massive increase. It's a 6% increase actually from 2024. So I don't think 6% is good enough, especially when it's a new site like it is. So, to be honest, I'm really, really disappointed. Really disappointed. 6% increase. If it was a mature site, I could handle it, but it's not. And it's a small site, so we'd expect better. It's not fully matured yet. So, well, I don't think it's officially classed as mature. So, I'm scoring it a 5 out of 10. It's an increase, 6%, but I do expect more. So we'll see how this year goes. I'm sure. I do think that Clough Road will get a better price per square foot, so therefore we will continue to take more money. But like I say, it is tough. It's just. Do you know what it is? It's just hard work all the time. It's just non-stop hard work. And like I say, it's not. I don't. Like I say. It's not to say that it's not a good site and it's not making money, because it is. It's a beautiful looking site. It's just in a competitive area. So yeah, 5 out of 10. We are putting some more containers down there soon, so that'll increase revenue as well. Wrexham Q1 2024 revenue was 41,848. Q1 2025 was 55,580. It's £13,732 extra in 2025. That's an increase of 33%. 33% increase. What? That's crazy. Honestly, crazy. Don't get me wrong. We have put in new containers. We've opened a container park there. And so that the revenue increase is to do with the containers. But even that on board, the revenue increase is still fantastic. And it will continue to get better and better and better, because we have put in some extra units internally as well. And none of those was on the figures just then in Q1. So Q2, I can only expect the revenue to increase and increase and increase again. The aim for Wrexham is to get to 320 or 30,000 pound in revenue. So that means it makes 200 grand. And if we choose to sell it, we can get a nice little payday, or we can just keep getting the 200 grand cash flow profit. Yeah, as acquisitions go, it was an incredible acquisition. Really, really good. So the score is 9 out of 10. Fantastic. Just goes to show what you can achieve. What a great success story. I put shit, haha. Sounds like I'm patting myself on the back, but it's actually down to my awesome team, SM team, that Stormore team. Well done. But not well done on Clough Road. You've dropped the ball there. I'm kidding. Do you know what the problem is? What we don't want to lean into is excuses too much, because if you give somebody an excuse, or if you give somebody a reason not to hit targets, then people will take it. Of course they will. We're only human. So we've got to be careful not to tell everybody, don't worry about Clough Road, it's because it's so competitive. When really, in reality, most businesses will have problems and issues, but we've got to get around them. We've got to rise above them. We've got to think outside the box. So we still need to better ourselves at Clough Road. We need to do a better job. I'm not saying the team, I'm saying me. How do I market it? Is there different ways to get quotes? Can we stop people being so price sensitive? What can we do? Think outside the box. So when there's a question, there's always an answer. We just need to ask the right questions. Right, tomorrow, my friends, we'll look at Mansfield. And Mansfield is a great success story. I'm going to spoil it straight away. It's 9 out of 10. It's unbelievable, the amount of revenue increase. However, it was a young site in 2000. It was only like 3 or 4 months old in Q1 2024. So you'd expect a big growth, but nowhere near what we have got. So we are over the moon, and I mean over the moon with it. Okay, my friends, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna go for a run, and we're gonna Blackpool today, so I'm gonna record the other 2 when I come back from a run, Thursdays and Fridays. All right, my friends, I love you, I appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, guys, love you, bye bye.